Welcome back to the David Pakman Show.
Support the David Pakman Show for free by doing all your Amazon.com shopping through the black banner at davidpakman.com. You can also become a David Pakman Show member, which is of course made possible in part by liberalbias.com. Lewis sometimes gazes into that cereal bowl he has every single morning. I don't know how he does it. And he thinks he sees liberal bias in there. He is not alone. You can find out more at liberalbias.com. Matt Larson, a new David Pakman Show member. Oh boy. And you know what's interesting? It's Matt spelled with an S on the end. And I think it would be incorrect to say Matts. I think it is just a European spelling of short for Matthew, right?
I don't know. I've never seen this spelling before.
Natan, what do you think on that?
M-A-T-S?
Yeah.
No, I've actually seen that. I'm pretty sure it's Mats. There was a tennis player. I think his name was Mats Wilander.
All right. Well,
yeah.
Mats Larson then. I apologize. I stand corrected, Lewis.
All right.
Thank you. You love that music, don't you?
It's so great.
Government propaganda might be legalized. The obvious question is, who knew it was already illegal? An amendment that would legalize the use of propaganda on American audiences is being inserted into the latest defense authorization bill, according to BuzzFeed. The amendment would, quote, strike the current ban on domestic dissemination of propaganda material produced by the State Department and the Independent Broadcasting Board of Governors, according to the summary of the law at the House Rules Committee's website. This would basically neutralize two previous acts. A lot of people probably don't realize this, Lewis, but there actually are two previous acts, the Smith-Mundt Act of 1948 and the Foreign Relations Authorization Act of 1987, which have already been passed to protect audiences from the government's own misinformation campaigns. Most people don't even know that those exist.
I feel like entire presidential campaigns are misinformation campaigns.
Well, that's different. That is not State Department propaganda.
That's true.
That's campaign.
And there's plenty of military propaganda.
No question. Most of it, though, geared overseas. And apparently it's so effective. In other words, campaigns at raising the opinion of our military operations elsewhere, they're being considered so effective overseas that why not bring them back and institute them here in the U.S. as well?
Yeah, why not? It's legal.
This was a very almost completely unnoticed press release that went out last week, and it's buried between a bunch of other higher profile issues in the $642 billion defense bill. It's a bipartisan amendment sponsored by Congressman Mac Thornberry from Texas and Congressman Adam Smith from Washington State. And basically what the argument is that because of the internet age, the current law ties the hands of America's diplomatic officials, military, and others by inhibiting our ability to effectively communicate in a credible way. Wait a second. So
propaganda is credible?
You need to remove propaganda restrictions to communicate in a more credible way? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it does to someone. Who? I'm not sure.
So the big surprise here, of course, is that there is a ban on propaganda. I mean, in the private sector, we already have a huge propaganda outlet called Fox News. Okay, now that's one specific type of propaganda. How is propaganda being defined here, though? I mean, knowingly saying something you know isn't true to influence opinion? Colin Powell admitted to doing that in his presentations in the lead up to the Iraq War. He basically said, I knew the information wasn't good, and I went with it anyway to make the case. He admitted he was wrong.
Yeah, well, is there a difference between not knowing that your information is 100% accurate,
right,
or not knowing that it's completely false?
Knowing that it's completely
false.
Knowing
that it's completely false.
It's a good question. I mean, look at how popular the Iraq War was initially going into it, even with the anti-propaganda laws in place. Natan, some people are emailing me saying, is this a big deal or is this not a big deal? Given the amount of misinformation people already have circulating, it seems removing these restrictions is a huge deal.
It seems like it. It's just hard to distinguish between this type of propaganda and the type of sort of common use of the word propaganda that we use every day.
Well,
to
that's
describe,
the question. What is the
BS.
definition? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess we don't know.
I don't know.
Want me to look it up?
Well, I don't know. I don't know that we're going to find a legal definition. We're going to find a dictionary definition.
Yeah, well, good luck finding a legal definition.
I mean, we can't even find a legal definition of marriage, if you believe our guest last week.
A form of communication that is aimed at influencing the attitude of a community towards some cause or position. Propaganda is usually repeated and dispersed over a wide variety of media in order to create the desired result in audience attitudes.
Yeah, I mean, that's Fox News is propaganda, according to that. So is advertising.
So it's not necessarily disinformation or misinformation. it could be completely factual, but it is
designed to influence.
right.
Yeah, I don't think that that's really applicable to this specific scenario. We're really talking about another level altogether here.
Yeah, because I suppose if there were a ban on whatever we're talking about, it probably was not 100% factual information that we were dealing with.
I agree.
All right.